What's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the psychological body horror film Wolfman. Now this is a reboot of 1941's The Wolfman, or you could say even a remake with like a modern twist to it. Now it's directed by Leigh Whannell and it stars Christopher Abbott, Julia Garner, and Sam Yeager. Now the film itself is about like a family being, I guess you could say, trapped like in this woods at this farmhouse, and they're being pursued by like this creature. Well, you could say like a werewolf, you know, and it turns out that the father himself was infected too as well. So as the night goes on, he slowly transforms into like the werewolf, and you know, of course his family is in danger, like his like wife and daughter, they are in danger because of the situation. So yeah, that's basically what the film itself is about. But like there are other things like unfolding in this film too as well. Now I must admit, like the first half of this film, like all the way to like the second half, even like some of the second half, it's very like, I thought it was really entertaining and enjoyable. Like it had like lots of like mood and atmosphere and so on. I know it takes place like in Oregon, like the bulk of the film. But when the film does open, there's like this read up at the beginning, like a scripture where it talks about that it was like a hitchhiker who had vanished like in the mountains of Oregon, like in 1995, and apparently like there are rumors that there was like a virus or something like that probably he caught, and that's why he just suddenly disappeared. But then once after that happens, you see like the character known as Blake Lavelle, and he's like the main like protagonist of the film, but he's actually still like a little boy at this point because he's with his father known as Grady Lavelle, who's played by Sam Yeager. That's how you pronounce it. Now they are in the woods like hunting the animals, but I won't spoil this too much because there's like stuff in this particular scene that's kind of like spoiler territory, so I just leave it at that. But once this scene happens, like they're being pursued by this creature, but the father does claim that it is a bear, so Blake does think it's a bear. Like I said, it's like a couple of things that they didn't really tie up enough, you know. It kind of takes it down to, but it was still like a pretty cool, awesome sequence, especially when they're out like in the woods and the mountains of Oregon. Because like I like the way it looked, like moody and like atmosphere, like the clouds, like the trees and stuff. Like it was really there. And plus, the idea that these creatures like you know, chasing them, even though the boy thinks it's a bear and stuff like that. I also saw this in Dolby Cinema too, so the sound effects really had like sounded like scary like. But after that event happens, because his father is even like angry at Blake, like his father's like mad at him because he doesn't want to listen to what his father's telling him to do, like to keep him out of trouble. But it turns out Blake actually sneaks up on his father, having a conversation about the guy that had disappeared and had the virus and so on like that. Then it just jumps to like 30 years later. So eventually, like 30 years later, like Blake, who's now older, he's played by Christopher Abbott, and his wife was Charlotte Lavelle, played by Julia Garner, and they also have like a daughter known as Ginger Lavelle, and she's played by Matilda Firth. They all decide to take a trip back to Oregon because I think they are living in New York. Once the film jumps 30 years later, 'cause I think it was New York that they was in. Blake gets a letter saying that his father had eventually like was declared deceased, because his father, they don't really know what happened to his father, and his father just suddenly like vanished. But now Blake gets a letter saying that his father is supposedly deceased. So like once he hears that, he takes his wife and his daughter to Oregon, you know, like in the mountains, just to take stuff back, you know, or the type things that his father left loose, and that's when they encounter like this like creature or whatever, this animal, you know, that attacks Blake. You know, you even see it in the trailer where his arm gets cut, and then it slowly becomes to get like affected, becoming like the Wolfman himself. So like I say, that's basically what the plot is about, and they even take shelter at his father's like a farmhouse, because he has like a farm and like a house too, as well. They even take shelter there. But like I say, once they get to the house, you know, that's when it starts. I guess you could say it's kind of like this like mid-second night, but that's when the film starts, seems like it starts going down, like it's not really as fun or as entertaining as when it started, like the first half. But overall, it was a pretty, it was better than I thought it was going to be, I must admit, because I know this director also directed that remake of The Invisible Man, so that's another reason why I decided to give it a shot. But it was like much better than I thought. It is like if you're expecting, like I said, it's a spoiler territory, like a high body kind, like a lot of kills and stuff like that. That's not here. Like the characters are even limited. You want to have like a few like characters in this film. Like I say, it's not really like that many like people, like a lot of stuff going on. Plus like the location where they're, I liked that too, how isolated it feel when there's when they are at Blake's like father house. It's like very isolated because there's like no civilization around them. Plus it's like creatures like pursuing them and stuff like that, you know. And I guess the look of the werewolf too, because I know a lot of people were like complaining about that. They don't think that the werewolf looked right enough, he looked like too human. But I guess it's still kind of like a decent like look for a werewolf, especially like when a Blake really like changes into it. Because one of the things I thought was cool about it too is like as he's slowly changing into the werewolf, he's starting to lose everything. It's like he's almost getting like, you know, like he's losing his intelligence, and he's also getting like the senses, of course, of like a wolf. Because he can see like how the people, how like wolves actually see people. Like when he's looking at people like through his vision, he can see like their eyes like are glowing and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool. Right there, like moments like that, like the people, like his daughter and his wife, their eyes are glowing. They look evil themselves when he sees them, because I'm hearing that's how wolves see people. Plus, like his sound, like you hear, like you can hear like grinding, like crawling sound. It sounded like real loud. This is when he's becoming a wolf, like Blake was saying, the sound, and it sounded real loud in the theater because I was watching in Dolby Cinema. But it turns out when he looked at what was doing that, it was just a spider crawling around on the wall and making that, like his sense, like his hearing sense was so strong, like the idea of just a small spider. I think the spider was kind of big, like it was crawling on the wall, like sounded real. I was like doom, doom, doom as it was crawling on the wall. So I thought that was kind of cool because his hearing sense was just like so strong. But it can be like very like violent and like bloody and stuff like that too as well. And I think the eventual breakdown of Blake turning into like this creature is kind of like, there's something kind of sad about it, you know, because there's nothing they can really do about it, and he just went over to his father's house, you know, and he just got caught up in this situation which put his family in danger too. So it does seem kind of like sad there, you know, about like the character himself, Blake. But overall, in the end, I thought the performances were pretty good. Like Blake's Christopher Abbott as Blake, I thought he did a pretty good job like in the role of his character and so on. I said the performances were pretty decent and so on. But overall, I still feel like it was kind of like a B minus. I don't know, it's even kind of like a C. But I think I'm going to go ahead and give it like a B minus. Like I said, it was much better than I thought. Surprisingly better than I thought. But like I said, I do still feel like a C territory, but I'll give it a B minus. So yeah, this is my review for the Wolfman. And I would definitely recommend it for fans of these like particular type updated versions like of like legendary like horror, you know, like characters, you know, or icons, you know. So I'm giving this a B minus. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.